Hi, good night, man. How are you going, Kevon?
Good, Shivam. How are you doing?
Awesome. Good night, good night. Good night to everyone viewing. I don't see we have 2 viewers, 4 viewers already. Good night to everyone.
All right,
I'm
good
here
to
with
see you,
Kevon,
public.
and yeah, let me let Kevon introduce himself to you guys because we have a very nice topic tonight.
All right, so thank you for the invitation, Shivam. I'm
No
pleased to really
problem.
speak on behalf of KAS Chartered Accountants. Hi, everyone. Good night. My name is Kevon Sieusankar, and yes, I am the principal of KAS Chartered Accountants. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background of me. I've been involved in public practice for over 11 years now. And I've spent the majority of my experience with the Big Four international accounting firms, right, which provide auditing and accounting tax services. Um, I'm also a fellow with the ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, and also I possess an MBA with distinction from the Herod University. So that's just a little background on my side.
Awesome. And tonight we're here to talk about what, Kevon?
We had to talk about business registration,
All right,
taxation, and also your financial statements.
Awesome. So we're talking about business registration, right, bro? Why should we register a business? What benefits does it have about it?
Well, first and foremost, it's required by law for you to register a business to operate within the country, right? Under the Companies Act and also the NPOs Act, which recently came about in 2019. You are required to enter, start a business, right? If you're carrying a trading activity within the country, right? Potential benefits would be more or less having an area where you can be able to market your products, your service. Um, your business itself will stand out on its own, right? You can eventually go to the direction of a trademark, right? Another advantage is well, as we saw in 2019, where they had the $100 shake-up within the country, right? In December 2019, where the government required all of us to go and change our $100 and so on. It provides a legitimate way for you to more or less bank your monies and so on within the financial institutions because it is required within the law and prevents commingling of your personal funds with your business funds.
That's really good information there, bro. Good night to everyone again that's watching. We're here with Kevon from KAS Chartered Accountant, right? Well, a chartered accountant, I guess you would say. Awesome. Right? So we're talking about business registration and stuff, guys. But something I want to ask Kevon here tonight is that, all right, my business is a limited liability company, right? But I understand there's different type of businesses. What are some of these? And you have any examples of these by chance?
Right. So there are different types of businesses, as you were saying, Shibam. So there are sole trader type businesses, partnerships, limited liability companies like the one you have. There's also not-for-profit organizations, and there's also NGOs, to name a few.
Awesome. So for a sole trader, what exactly is a sole trader? Like, is just for one person owning a business, or what type of business would that qualify under?
Right. It depends on the nature of activity that you're involved in. Mainly any nature of activity in terms of the business that you enter into. If you're a sole trader and you're a one-man show, that's the type of business you'll want to incorporate. However, let's see. Sorry, Shiv, I'm good.
I was thinking probably like a little shop or something, like a mini mart or something like that.
It could be a hardware, it could be a supermarket, it could be a chartered accountant, it could be a lawyer, a doctor. It depends. It depends on the type of business structure that companies with it. It depends on the type of how many owners you want to have within the business, right? So yeah, it would depend on the type of business and the I would say the level of activity you're looking to attract as well.
Okay. So I know this is Trinidad basically, and I have a lot of persons opening businesses and even registering. What are some of the downfalls or trouble you could get into by doing this? And I would like to add that a lot of persons use their sole bank account to put their money in from the business and mix up everything. So what's the issue with that?
Right. So I don't know if you noticed, if you guys would have noticed, right? But the banks are getting a little more stringent in terms of commingling of funds. And they are now mandated by our government and also the central bank instructions, right? To be able to, hey, if you have a business activity going on, that's fine. Incorporate your company, have your separate commercial accounts, right? So in the event, right, that let's just say, right, you are asked for your source of funds, right?
Mhm.
It's not from an illegal source. It's from a legitimate business, and you're carrying out a legitimate trade.
Okay, I understand that. That's real trouble. So I really do urge people to go and register, because there's some trouble you could really get into there, especially further down the line when you see a
Correct.
business expanding and growing as well.
Correct. And
Because
you
you
know, in
can't just
terms
show
of
up and I mean, like, you just show up in the bank and you have $10,000 and say, "Here, I want to deposit this into my account." They'd be like, "What? Where did I get this from? Where did you
correct.
get this from?" Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, remember, as people progress with their lives, right? They'll want to take out loans, they want to take out overdraft facilities, and all of these things, right? And proving as to where you have a legitimate source of funds coming in is important, right? And it also shows a proper track record in terms of how you're doing in your business. So what would you qualify for in terms of loans? If you do basically only cash transactions, that's a downfall there.
Okay. Yeah, and only cash transactions, sometimes you may not may get a receipt. People don't usually track the receipts and stuff like that, and it's very vital to have these things in your business. So you
Correct.
can keep track
And
of how much money you're making, spending, etc.
correct. And just to reiterate, for instance, the same exercise the government carried out in December 2019 with the $100, right? If it is, for what I heard, there was a barber, right? A barber shop guy, right? He went in with $1 million, right? It creates more skepticism on you as to where you get the money from, whether you get it on a legitimate activity or not.
Yeah, I know some barbers make some plenty money, making some good paper, but it's a little confusing to know what they're doing. Good night again to everybody watching. If you guys have any questions for Kevon, go right ahead, post it in the comments. We'll get to it as soon as we can. So earlier today, you were actually talking to me about the Companies Act. I would like you to explain that for the audience here tonight.
Right. So the thing about it, there are provisions within our Companies Act that would more or less prescribe for the types of businesses you want to open, right? And based on that, it has mandated people where they would have been carrying out a trade within the country, you need to register a business.
All right. I understand that. So, like, does it get updated through the years, or there's anything new about it?
Correct. So, for instance, right, as I mentioned, the NPOs, right, they had a act came out in 2019 June, where they had to register their business now under that particular act, right? And in addition to, right, in relation to the limited liability companies, it should impact your business indeed, in relation to beneficial ownership interest, in relation to filing your annual returns, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. The beneficial ownership interest part would have come out in May 2019.
Okay. That's something I should probably follow up on, which I didn't really follow up on.
Yeah, you should. Because you think about it, the penalties they implemented for that is pretty stiff, right? Based on the Companies Act, they would have stated that the fines for not doing that is 10,000 per director, 10,000 for the company, up to 3 years imprisonment for the directors, and everything that you don't go by, that you go by and you didn't do it, 300 per day. Luckily, at this point in time, there's an amnesty going on right now. And I urge all business owners, especially in particular the limited liability company ones, take advantage of this, right? It has been going from last year, and the Attorney General has been extending it, right? Because of the situation that we are in currently. So it is advisable to take advantage of this, because it can be very expensive if you are out of the amnesty period.
Okay. That's some deep information there, and I think I should follow up on that as well.
You should.
But here's the thing, right? Let me put you in a scenario, right? Because I know it have people watching want to know how to register a business. So let's pretend I open a tech company, which I already have and I already running, but I didn't register. I don't know the first thing about that. Walk me through the process, please.
Right. So in terms of the process of that, right? Businesses, if you want to be a sole trader, whether you want to be a partnership, let's say it's me and you Shipam, that's a partnership we want to register, right? Or a limited liability company. There are several documents you need to file with the Ministry of Legal Affairs, and there are several fees that you need to incur as you go along, right? And the Ministry of Legal Affairs will be able to best advise in terms of the registration process of that. The main hot topic things that you need to know, right? You need to get your name approved, right? It's not guaranteed that the name that you have in your mind or you want, you will be able to get. There is a vetting period that needs to go through. I believe it's a legal officer has to give the approval for that name, right? And once you get through that hurdle, everything becomes a little bit easier.
Okay. I think you could probably register as well online via TT Connect.
Yes.
So choose your names. There's 3 names you get to choose or something like that.
Well, the thing about it, right? So that's for limited liability company. If you're a sole trader business, right, you will need to submit 1 name, right? And for a partnership as well, right? You need to submit 1 lien, let it go through its vetting process, and then you'll be able to see if they will approve it or not.
Okay. I understand that.
There is some nitty-gritties involved. Yeah.
And I heard you mention, I think you mentioned about the BIR number.
Correct.
You did talk about that. What is a BIR number? Because we have some younger persons here who are working and I don't know what this is.
Right. So BIR number means Board of Inland Revenue number. That number is specific to you as an individual. So let's say you're employed with me, right? And you're now coming out of school, you don't have a BIR number. It is my responsibility, the employer's responsibility, to get a BIR number for you, right? And from there, because it's required by law, we need to get our BIR numbers for our employees, right? As in particular, when we need to do their TD4s and so on for them to file their tax returns. So that is an important aspect there in terms of an employee per se, right? But in terms of a business owner, sole traders, yes, you need to get a BIR number, right? As soon as you register the business, then you actually take that step to actually go get the BIR numbers and so on. Yeah, similar for a partnership, you need to get a BIR number for the partnership, and also for a limited liability company, you need to get the BIR numbers for a limited liability company as well.
Okay. That's some vital information there. I believe we have a little question here. You seen it on your screen?
Sorry,
good night again. If you have a limited company, and one of your owners die, do you have to report it?
Yes, because the person, the owner, right? So therefore, that's a shareholder of the company, right? It depends in terms of who's inheriting the shareholders' estates, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because now your beneficial ownership interest, right, and shareholders kind of go hand in hand, right? So the thing about it, right? Given that, let's say Mr. X passed away, right, and he leave it for Mrs. X, now his estate is being transferred to her. So now her name will be featured as a shareholder in the company.
Okay. The next of kin in a sense.
Correct.
So Rachel, if you could probably give us a little more information. If you like, or you could probably contact you privately if they want to discuss a little more.
No problem. That's fine.
All right. So we talk about business registration. We went through that a little fast as well. If anybody will have any questions about that, you could just pop it in the comments below. Let's talk about financial statements and tax. Right? What's it? Yeah. So I saw that you were talking to me about. Oh, look! Somebody actually posted a nice little comment here. How can I get my BIR number now that it's locked down?
Right. So your BIR number, you can apply for it on BIR's website, right? It will be as a non-login service. You can't do that on your own. They will ask you for certain requirements. Once you provide those requirements, they will be reviewing it and they will provide you with feedback. Once you provide all necessary information, Board of Inland Revenue will reach out.
Okay, that's not a problem. Yeah. So I think that should shed some light on Garen's question. So we're talking about tax as well as financial statements and all these little things. What advice you would give in that sense?
Right. So different company structures attract different types of taxes, right? So let's start with income. Let's start with sole traders. Sole traders, the taxes that you will be liable for would be income tax and also business levy, depending on how long you have been in business or your sales proceeds, right? If you are running a partnership company, you'll be liable for green fund levy. And the partners within that partnership will also need to file individual tax returns. Yeah. And in relation to a limited liability company, there's a corporation tax that you will need to file annually on behalf of the company. It will be signed off possibly by a director of the company, one agent.
Okay. I understand that. This thing you was telling me about here, bro. This one, the difference between what is an acumen income earner and a non-acumen income earner.
Right, emolument.
Emoluments. Right. Oh gosh, Lord, sorry.
That's fine, Shiva. So, right, an emolument income earner is a person who has an employee. So, for instance, where employed persons work with my practice, right? They are earning a salary, and that salary is referred to as an emolument income earner. A non-emolument income earner are those persons who, for instance, have a sole trader business, partnership, right? Those type of businesses, those are non-emolument income earners.
Okay. This person wants to know about the sites. Do you know any websites about what you were talking about with the BIR?
You should check IRD, Inland Revenue website.
Inland Revenue website. All right, Karen, Miss Lewis.
Yeah,
I believe it is. Yeah. Somebody says good night as well. All right, awesome. What are the responsibilities of business owners in relation to taxes? Because I know it have a lot of different things popping up, and a lot of persons may not be educated in that sort of thing, and they might come to an accountant such as yourself to find out.
Correct. So, as a business owner, right, you are obligated. So, I'm going to break it out, right? In terms of sole traders, you are obligated to file a tax return. The partnerships, you are obligated to file a partnership return, and also your individual income tax return. And corporate, well, for a limited liability company, you are required to file a corporation tax. Now, you would normally engage a practitioner like myself, right, to ensure that the accounting is done right and taxes are calculated appropriately, to ensure that you pay the correct amount of taxes, right, within the law, right? And in relation to that, right, persons like myself, members in practice from ICAT, right, we are appropriately trained, and we understand the tax acts in depth so that we can be able to provide value for money services to you guys. So we minimize the amount of taxes that you guys have to pay within the law, because there are a lot of return allowances, and there are a lot of information that would allow you now, right, to pay and plan your taxes well.
Okay, I understand that. So I think it's more advisable to go to someone that, like in your position, to actually get the required information and stuff like that. So Agreed. You are South Basin?
Yes, I am South Basin.
And I'm sure most of the persons going to be watching this will be from South, so they can always check you out.
Yes. Awesome, I'm actually the South Orapooch area. I service clients throughout the South
Orapooch. Okay. And you have, I think you believe you have some clients in Point Fortin area and stuff too. Down in KAS and stuff too. You'll head down in KAS to check out the clients.
No problem. Once the clients there, I will go.
Awesome. That's good to know. I hope everybody listening to that. Right? All right. So we talk about the responsibilities of business owners and taxation, right? What is different type of taxes that I can expect as a business owner myself that might pop up?
Right. Here I come. So, like I said, the sole trader, you are liable for income taxes, right? And you are liable for business levy. Your partnership, you are liable for your green fund levy for the partnership, and you're also liable, the partners within the partnership are liable for income taxes when they file their income tax return. And limited liability, you are liable for corporation taxes, right? Now, if it is, right, you don't pay and you are required to pay taxes quarterly, right? As based on the Income Tax Act. And if it is that you don't pay the right amount that you're supposed to pay, you end up paying interest and penalties, right? For those shortfall payments, right? And then in relation to filing your tax return, you would be liable, for instance, if you're a sole trader partnership, every 6 months that pass, you'll be liable for $100 penalty, And for corporation, well, for limited liability companies, which you have to file a corporation tax return, you'll be liable to $1,000 every 6 months that pass by.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Shubham, $1,000.
All right, no problem. Rachel have another question here. What if a limited company did not generate income for a particular year? Do they still need to file BIR and NIS?
Yes, you need to file a tax return. You need to ensure your business is up to date, right? Even if you did not file, you did not make any income, you need to still file a tax return. So you still come to a practitioner like myself to go through it, to make sure, do the relevant checks and balances, and to be able to ensure that your return is inside and you remain in compliance.
Okay, okay. So I hope that answers the question there, Rachel. Thank you for that question. It's a good question too. Right? That's what I want. I want everybody to post a question so we can actually get down to it, because they might have some popular questions that keep popping up and people need to get the general knowledge. And that's what this whole thing is about, push the knowledge out there for persons. So they can access it, they could, use it.
Right. And another little piece I would add as well, right? Ensuring that you have a proper practitioner to do your tax work, right? It may not avoid, but in the unlikely event you have a BIR audit, and a BIR audit could come in a PAYE audit, pay as you earn audit. It could come in a VAT audit if you're VAT registered, and it could come as a normal tax audit. So, provided that your member in practice who does your work for you, they will make sure that everything is properly done, right? And they can be able to justify all the balances, right? Providing that you have provided all the complete and accurate information to them.
Okay. Look, Rachel had another question. I would like to answer this question for Rachel. Wants to know, how does one go about doing that? And my answer to you, Rachel, is that you call Kevon at 309-9994 and you're making necessary arrangements. That's my personal opinion. He's not advertising at all. You understand? So I think you should give him a buzz and you can talk about it. Even if he could probably give you some advice of what to do in that sense.
Correct.
Awesome. All right. So we talk about taxes. We talk about the penalties of these taxes. So let me say, all right, let me put myself in a situation where I actually know a few people have done this, right? They essentially run a business for a couple of years, like 1 year, 2 years, and they haven't filed anything, they haven't registered, they haven't done anything, and they're generating money. What's your best advice to those persons?
Just repeat that again. They haven't filed anything.
They haven't filed anything. They haven't done receipts. They haven't done anything in that sense of a business, right? But they're running a business. Understand?
Right.
So a lot of persons I know doing that.
Right. So what I would say, right? If we look at how things are changing in the world, things are changing within our country and so on, right? Let's go a little bit back, right? In terms of the economic climate we are under, right? Things are not so favorable, right? So this is just my opinion, right? But if it is that our oil and gas industries, right, are not performing well, the government has to find the money to run the country, right? And therefore, right, they would more or less would look within the revenue gathering within the country. And I know, for instance, I'm not sure if you heard about this, Shubham, right? Trying to make a revenue authority. I think that is still in the pipeline coming along, right?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Right. They haven't, our Ministry of Finance have not been commenting much on it, right? But let's be on the safe side. We never know when or how they could implement changes. And like I said, for instance, we have like WASA wanting to roll out meters, right? I think we saw, I saw it on social media in relation to things like Android boxes and so on. They want to ban those things. So I think the country is moving in a much more regulated way, right? And I think getting into compliance is one of the safest things you will do, right, for yourself and your business. And you don't want the adverse publicity. You don't want for instance, like tender committees. If you want to tender for jobs, one of the great requirements there is that you get a tax clearance. But if it is, right, you have not been filing your tax returns, how are you going to get a tax clearance? The Board of Inland Revenue is going to mandate you to file your tax returns, and they need to do their assessments, and then they will grant necessary clearances to you guys.
Okay, I understand that. To everyone viewing again, I see some people popping in and out. I would like you guys to share this. I'd like you guys to put out the information. Any questions you guys have, we will get to it as soon as possible. Kevon, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break, and we'll come back. We're going to talk about audit. Audit. Awesome.
Fine.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're back again, and we're here with Kevon. How do you pronounce your last name, sir, before I butcher it?
Sieusankar.
Sieusankar. Kevon Sieusankar of KAS Chartered Accountant, right?
Correct.
So we're talking about files, taxes, all these little things, business registration, BIR, and what we're going to talk about now, we're going to talk about audit. So for persons who don't know what is an audit, what is an audit, Kevon?
But just before we move into audit, one thing I just want to mention to you guys, right? In terms of NIS, right?
NIS.
Businesses are also required to, if you have employees, you need to get NIB registered, right? You need to make the appropriate contributions for your employees. That is the laws of the land. And if you are, there are things called NIB audits, right? So if they do audit you and you have not been doing so, right, there are fines and penalties to accompany with that as well.
What advice you would give to an employee who isn't receiving NIS from the employer?
Well, the thing about it, if it's right, so the thing about it, how I look at things, the law is the law, and it's quite clear, right? Employers have certain responsibilities, and for instance, I believe it was mentioned by a member of our government. They specifically said that through last year's COVID activities and so on, right, they have been realizing that persons went to NIB to claim whatever grants and so on they can get. And unfortunately, the employers were not paying the NIS on their behalf. So that opens up a lot of skepticism in that area. And therefore, given that our government has noticed that, right, it may now prompt them to look into that a little bit more in terms of determining audits, looking at how much businesses are registered in the country, looking at scale of activity, if you employ persons, to that extent.
Yeah, I understand that. If anyone has any questions about NIB operations and stuff, you could always post it in the comments as well. But what advice you would give to someone who talk to the employer about getting NIB and getting insurance and stuff, and like they're put in a position where, okay, they either leave the work or they continue working without NIB. Should they report it? And there is a whole moral dilemma because the relationship with the employers and all these things.
Right.
That's the situation.
Right. So the thing about it, I mean, the right thing to do is the right thing to do, right? If you need to, you can report it. However, I mean, that is a personal choice. So it depends on the individual. I think if it is that they are not happy with that, they could probably try to find another job.
Exactly. There's always really that moral compass.
Correct. It really comes down to them in terms of the person's individual circumstance.
Just the person what I think about the family and all these little things.
Correct.
It's a whole scene.
However, what I would say, like I say, the right thing to do is the right thing to do. And I think once you're doing the right thing, you're not going to get into any problems.
Well, something I personally want to ask is that, all right, it have part-time workers that work like during the summer and stuff like that. Do businesses have to pay NIB for them?
It depends. So if it is somebody is employed and you meet the definition of as an employee, right, with you, you need to pay NIB for them. However, if they're providing services on a subcontractor basis, they are invoicing you specifically for that. So therefore, you're a subcontractor. So the difference.
Okay. That's very interesting. Oh, look like I got another nice question here, bro. From Rosa Ali. Good night, Rosa. Hi, good night. If you work in URP and were hospitalized, do you qualify for NIS?
Right. Well, right. So that is dependent on if NIB contributions are being made. So, for instance, when you receive a pay slip, right, or you receive a TD4, you'll be able to see whether they are deducting NIB, ANS contributions, right? And through that, now you'll know that fine, the employer is making this deduction, and 9 out of 10 chances they're paying it across the NIB, doing their part.
Okay, so Rosa, I think the best thing to do is talk to your superiors and find out what could be done in that sense.
Just to add to that, persons could apply for a statement from NIB, a contribution statement, to check
make sure it's paying.
What has been paid for you guys here.
Okay. She said money come through the bank. I don't understand that.
Right, but even though your money, is it that your net salary is coming through the bank? If your net salary is through the bank, then they would take your gross salary minus your deductions and then arrive at your net salary, which is allotted to you.
Oh, that's all it. Okay.
Correct.
I understand that. All right, so
back to audits.
Like, explain exactly. I don't think we didn't really explain what is our audit per se, in that sense.
Right. Well, audits. So audited financial statements. So I am a registered auditor with ICAD. I possess an auditing certificate, which allows me to do both accountants reports, audited financial statements. Right.
You're qualified, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the South boys. Yeah. Very much worse. In terms of audited financial statements, remember, for audited financial statements, these are things would be required by the bank. For instance, if you go for overdraft facility or loan, right? They would say they want audited financial statements. Or let's say you're going to tender for a contract. The tender committee, one of the requirements of the tender would be audited financial statements, right? So audit is more or less where a practitioner like myself will be engaged to perform an audit on a set of financial statements, right? Based on our procedures that we've conducted in accordance with international standards in auditing, we will conduct procedures, gather audit evidence, right, and draw conclusions. Based on those conclusions, now we would issue a report on those financial statements. Whether we issue an unqualified opinion, which is also referred to as modified opinion, right? Meaning that it's a clean audit, it's a clean report. We believe all the figures are materially accurate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it is, we need to modify a report depending on what it is. If there's one financial statement line item is inaccurate, so we don't believe it was materially misstated, right? Or if the entire financial statement is inaccurate. So it really depends on a case by case. But in terms of audited financial statements, what we do when we go through and we do our audit, we add credibility to those numbers. So, for instance, when I send out my audit reports, right, and the bank sees this, knows it comes from me, they know the practitioner. If they have any questions, they'll probably reach out and ask me, right? And more or less, it gives the bank, or it gives whatever institution or whatever user of the financial statements, right, the confidence that these financial statements are done appropriately and they are materially accurate.
Okay, I understand that. Someone actually messaged me, and they wanted to get advice about getting the BIR number and cashing out the TD4. What is the TD4? You know.
Okay, so I'll just take that step back, right? So remember.
Yes, take a step back.
Right. So remember, we were talking about emolument income earners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were saying that emolument income earner is like an employee of a company, right? At the end of each year, right? Let's say between January, February, subsequent year. So let's say we're dealing with 2020. By January, February, your employer would have issued a TD4 to you in 2021 for 2020. A TD4 shows your gross earnings for the year. It shows the total NIS you would have paid, your total health surcharge, and your total PAYE for tax purposes. And that is given to you so that if you choose, you can file a tax return on that. Now, as an emolument income earner, you are not required to file a tax return at this point in time, right? However, if it is, let's say you might have an annuity, or you might have a tax incentive savings program, which is not taken into consideration by where the place you are, where you work in terms of the payroll department, right? Mm-hmm. Then it is advisable that you file a tax return. So you can probably see what tax refund you might be able to get.
Okay. I understand that. I hope that answered the person's question. I don't want to call their name because they privately messaged me.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's no problem. Yeah, they can reach out to you. I'm gonna reply back with your number as well. So you should get some clients as well in that regard.
Yeah.
What I want to find out is that can I get audited? How does one get audited in that sense? Like a BIR audit? Is there such a thing? You froze for a second.
You broke up a little bit there.
Oh,
Can you repeat?
BIR auditing. What's the verdict on that?
All right. So like for instance, the BIR audit. A BIR audit only occurs when BIR requests that they visit you because they want to conduct an audit and so on, right? So it's you don't necessarily go to them to get an audit. So for instance, if BIR audits, any NIB audits, those are state-owned enterprises, right? State-owned entities, and they will they have the autonomy that they can come to you and audit you, right? Audits that are done by me are specifically requested from a client to get done for whatever purpose they may need it for.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
Rachel come back with another question about how often do you do an audit?
Okay, so in terms of audited financial statements, right? So usually it's done annually. Only well, so usually clients have a January to December year end. So usually a 12-month calendar year end. There are clients who, depending on what they want or how they want their year ends, it could be any time in the year. But the usual thing is January to December. You usually do it once, right? Myself as the practitioner will come in once you engage me. We will speak the appropriate fees and so on. Once it's agreed the terms of the engagement, we will come in and do our part, right? The audit will be conducted. Are you hearing me? What is the last thing you
Sure. I hear everything. I just lose visualization on you for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Are you seeing me now?
All right, I see you good now. I see you good.
All right.
I see you good.
All right. So for instance,
you can continue. It's just the visualization was lost.
No problem. In terms of audited financial statements, you usually do it once per year.
Okay. So down to it once per year, essentially. Well, advisably. Okay. I want to talk about something that a lot of people may actually be interested in, and that is opening a bank account for your business in that sense, right?
Right. That's a good one.
What's the steps for that, and what's the benefits of doing this as well?
Right. So just going back to our early discussions. So when we register a business, what I usually do with clients, right? I strongly advise let's open the bank accounts one time, because different banks will have different requirements. They usually require typically an opening balance sheet and 3-year cash flow projection. That's the typical requirements, right? So at that point in time, when we actually do it, when the business has now started, right, it will be less costly, as opposed to if you go through 2 years down or 3 years down the road, operating a business, and then you want to open a bank account. The bank is going to tell you they need my financial statements or management accounts to actually open this bank account, which can get a little more expensive. So it is advisable that when you register a business, you move in that direction one time. That's a usual thing. What I do with clients, so I usually offer packages to clients in terms of registration of their business, get their bank accounts, get their BIR numbers and all these things set up for them, so that at least they have a nice starter pack to actually start and hit the ground running hard and actually go outside there and run their organizations.
Okay, that's some very good info there, bro. We will talk about financial statements, right? I wonder what's the standards that are accepted in Trinidad and Tobago to this date.
Right. So the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago have accepted the International Financial Reporting Standards. Now, with any international financial reporting standards, you have full international financial reporting standards, and then you have international financial reporting standards for small and medium-sized entities, right? If you are not a public listed entity, I would suggest you strongly stick to the international financial reporting standards for small and medium-sized entities. But if you're publicly traded within the country, you are required to go full IFRS, which is International Financial Reporting Standards.
Oh, someone asks about the core survey packages. So I think they should probably just
they can
a message.
Reach out, because the thing about it, cost will depend on what you need to get done, right? For me, it's always dependent on what you need to get done, and we go from there.
Yeah, so you work with the client essentially.
Correct, and I try to work with you so that I can be able just to offer you exactly what you need, as opposed to what I would want to give you, because at the end of the day, we are all in business together, and we are looking to manage costs and keep it as minimal as possible.
Awesome, bro. I think that's really good. I think we might do a little Zoom session or something soon. You should do that. A nice little Zoom session, get people to sign up and give them some, bill clients like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One thing I want to touch from. Just for the benefit of the viewers, right? So in particular, based on my experience with clients, they receive requirements from the banks. The banks will tell them they want audited financial statements or whatever they're doing. And then I'll be like, you sure they want audited financial statements? What about management accounts? What about normal financial statements, right? What is a good thing to do? So when my clients tell me like what they're interested in doing, right? I usually liaise with the bank directly. So the bank communicates with me. So that based on the information that they need, right, I will be able to advise the bank, well, okay, fine. Well, then you need management accounts. You don't need audited financial statements. The audited financial statements could get a little bit expensive, right? Because, like I said, that is a totally different package from a management account engagement, right? So one key thing to note is the difference between management accounts, financial statements, and then audited financial statements.
Okay. There's no difference between those, and you could probably, get the proper knowledge.
I mean, given that, for instance, business owners, they will not be technical when it comes to these type of things, right? So they depend on us to guide them through the process, right? So, for instance, like bankers would reach out to my clients and say they want this. I say, well, hey, you really want this, or could you work with this, right? And they say, well, okay, we can work with this. I say, well, okay, let's not put the client through unnecessary costs.
Exactly. Try to find the best savings for the clients.
Correct.
Make sure that the money wisely spent.
Correct. Because I mean, at the end of the day, yes, I'm an accountant, but I'm a trusted advisor at the same time. So I want to make sure that I can be able to save as much money for you as possible.
And a lot of accountants serve as basic personal financial advisors for the trusted clients as well. To make sure they're making the right decisions.
Correct. Agreed.
Because I know a few accountants, a particular accountant that advised one of my friends who wanted to open my business, and he sat down with him and went through the whole financials and everything. And after that, my partner was like, well, we'll think about this next time.
Yeah. That's the thing. The technical jargon and so on, we will handle that, right? I mean, more or less a client just wants to know that, hey, I can get a loan. Could I qualify for how much? Am I making profits? What are my taxes? Well, are we planning taxes right? So those are the type of things that clients come to me with. And based on my experience with them, I take them, I understand their business, I understand what they in terms of what they foresee in terms of the future of their business. So you advise the clients appropriately so that they can be able to maximize value in terms of their organization.
Exactly. You kind of hold the hand and carry them through each step accordingly.
Correct. Because, for instance, right, one thing I do in terms of my expertise, being an ex-audit manager with the Big Four international audit firms. So I would have audited large oil and gas companies within the country, retail, manufacturing, financial services, general service companies, construction, real estate, right? So I'm all-rounded in that sense, right? And from there now, you really understand exactly how we can be able to help a client to grow their businesses. So for instance, like tender committees and so on, I pretty well know exactly what they are looking for, right? And in terms of how to prepare the clients well, so they'll be able to be successful in the tender. I can't guarantee it, but at least I'll prep you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand that. And Kevon, I just want to say thank you again for coming on here tonight. This is some really valuable information, especially for persons nowadays. Right? And people are being interacting. They're interacting, man. I'm glad about this. Look, we have another question here from Rachel, I believe, again.
Yes.
Approximately.
I can answer that one.
All right.
Yes, I can answer that one. Rachel, yeah, all my consults are free.
Okay. The consult one. Not this one on the screen.
Siobhan, pick up this bill. But one thing I would want to leave you guys with, in terms of actually getting an accountant to actually service your company, you would want to consider getting somebody who is a licensed member in practice within the country. And hence the reason we have an Institute of Chartered Accountants within the country, right? So and with on their website, I think Shivam has sent you the link, right? You can probably share it, right?
I'll add it to the description.
Yes, so that people are, I only know who are the ones that can practice publicly and who can't, right? Because I think that's an important thing to realize, because if it is that you have a practitioner who's not licensed, who's to say that the bank won't refuse the financial statements, and now you have to go and incur the cost to get another practitioner.
That's like you're going to a random doctor who have no doctor license.
Correct.
Want to get service.
Agreed. So the thing about it, I mean, I think my colleagues and so on within the profession, I think we are reasonably our fees are reasonable. We try to work with the clients, right? And we try to provide really a good value for money service.
As you say, you're trying to work with the client, especially for this pandemic. Is there any type of discount, or you're trying to do a special proposal?
So for instance, right, so my clients, the non-essential service clients, right, they would have suspended activities. So I told them, I said, no problem, my fee would suspend as well, because I would never charge a client if you're not operating, right?
Exactly.
And for instance, cash flows are an issue right now, right? I try to be able, for my existing clients, of course, right? A new client, you would have to go through a trial process with me for us to build that relationship, and then I can be able to extend credit, right?
Exactly.
But in terms of my existing clients, I mean, I stand strong with them, and I stand by to help them in whatever way I can be able to help them with, so that they can be able to get through this difficult time, because we're all in this together.
Awesome. And you made a potential client here already, because Rachel says she's gonna be calling you, Kevon. She's gonna be calling you.
Oh, Rachel, I'll look up for your call.
What advice you would give to someone now starting up a business right now, like general? Like, I think that is the most common question they're gonna ask, because a lot of people are actually messaging me about business.
Right. I would say, so let's assume, right? You know, they have a saying that when one door closes in life, 10 more opens, right? At this point in time, given that we are going through a pandemic and we have some difficulties, in terms of business operations and so on, it could provide the opportunity for you as a business owner to be more resourceful. Find a way around barriers to be able to operate and to be able to be sustainable, because tough times make tough people. If it is you've never been through a tough time, you're not going to be tough. So that's my humble advice to you guys, right?
That's really good advice.
Yeah. We are ridiculous people.
Yeah, exactly. Trailers can always make it through anything, right? At the end of the day, I realize that.
We are resourceful.
We're resourceful, exactly. And good night again to everyone in the who watching, exactly. If you guys have any questions for Kevon, you could just comment down below and we could probably get to it. Something that we should talk about. What do you think we should talk about right now? In your honest opinion?
I think
we went through a lot.
I know. I think one thing I think clients are really asking me as their advisor. So they were like, Kevon, what do you think about the economy? What do you think about the economic outlook? Right? At this point in time, we need to realize to ourselves that this is just not a Trinidad item. This is a global item, right?
Exactly.
We focus more on necessities, and we look at just controlling relevant costs that is relevant to an organization, right? And with that now, right, it presents opportunities to redefine the way how we do things. Let's redefine the way. Let's find better ways, right? So for instance, if you're the owner of a business, you usually have an employee doing something, right? Or if it is that you have 5 employees, right? Full-time employees, and the thing about it, right, you only need 3. Let's not retrench 2. Let's change the working hours. Let's give everybody something still, so that everybody can sustain themselves through this difficult time.
Instead of hiring 2, you put them on a shift and everybody making money.
Correct. At least, right? I think the emotional contact that the clients that I have and they have with their people, right? They are of the opinion, or they share my passion for it, right? So let's find a way around this difficult time. Let's learn from it. Let's take learnings, right? Let's find new avenues, new markets, right? We can tap into, right? So, for instance, right now, Guyana seems to be doing well. So, I have clients actually looking to invest there, right? So it depends. It really depends on you as an individual to really, as a leader of a business, to take the mantle and run with it, right? And like I said,
Innovation. Mhm.
right, innovation. And at the same time too, you don't have to go it alone. Like myself, clients come to me. They say, Kev, how can we manage this cost better? I'll say, okay, I'll get a discount number for you first. But I cannot go through it with them. Your accountant is the one that would actually understand your business through your transactions, right? So, for instance, people who work with me and so on, right? I tell them one of the fundamental things is understanding the client's business, because when we understand the client's business, then we can be able to advise the client appropriately, give them the insights that they are not seeing, and become a problem solver.
Okay. That's some good advice in that regard, because a lot of persons, like even like us, it have experienced persons who don't even know about this type of information. Like they've been in this and they've been in that, and they work, but they don't really get onto this type of information or get that type of care from the provider in that sense.
Remember, Shivam, how should I say? I'm not a typical accountant. The training and experience that I would have gained, right,
Mm-hmm.
servicing large multinational clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our largest midstream gas, oil and gas clients in the country, and upstream and downstream clients, and even our clients within our frontline communities to our
Mm-hmm.
service, right? So the thing about it, the training and development in terms of problem solving at a higher level, right, at more complex levels, right, I'm able to offer that to clients at a very layman terms level so that I can be able to boost their business, help you find the ways, help you find the loopholes to be able to push yourself and push your product or your service, right? Because at the end of the day, if it is you're not competitive, one, if it is you're not resourceful, we live in a evolving world. It's not going to wait for you. It's going to leave you. We need to get outside there. We need to get our foot wet. We need to keep up with the times. We need to see what new technologies are coming out, and we boost the business.
That's what I realized
I
about
provide
it.
like things like mhm.
You rather
Sorry,
give
Shivam.
quality service over than quantity of clients.
Because the thing about it, one thing I do with clients, I actually ask for feedback. I want to understand what did I do, one, and I tell them to do it with their customers as well. It might be a simple walk-in client that comes
Mm-hmm.
in ever so often, but still it's a customer nonetheless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you still go and you still ask your customers, okay, are you all happy with the service? Is there anything I could have done better? Is there anything I can do better? You know, so that you understand the customer's expectations, because managing the customer expectation is very important. So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
when the typical example is when they go to the bank, they go for stuff, right? They go to for whatever loan, overdraft, whatever they go to the bank for. They give them a list of requirements to come to me, and through that now I can be able to let me list with your bankers directly. Let me understand exactly what they want, and through that now, right, I'm doing two things there. I'm giving the client the appropriate product, and I kind of taking away the headache from the client in terms of dealing with the bankers for the financial statement aspect of things. So it really adds value to them. It opens up their time so that they can concentrate on the operations of their business.
That's really some valuable information and some insight that I got into your service essentially. um, I just want to thank you again for coming out tonight. I don't know if you want to wrap up with the next couple of minutes that we have. If you have any advice to give, anything like that. Again, everybody who's watching, if you have any comments to give, any questions, comment it. Let us know before we wrap
Right?
up.
Yeah, you can give the questions there. Feel free to take my contact information. I don't mind having a discussion with you guys, right? And we go from there.
Awesome. So thank you again for coming out tonight, bro. I want you to leave with some words of encouragement for persons passing through this pandemic, because some people don't seem to understand there's a worldwide thing going on right now. This
Mm,
virus stopped the world essentially.
mm,
That's what happened.
it did, but I think the strategy right now for each and every organization is to
Mm-hmm.
hold. We can't grow. We can't grow within this pandemic. Eh? However, it might be a little bit difficult given that the current situation we are in, into the state of emergency, curfew, and all of these things, right? However, I think once you're able to just meet your bills at this point in time, even if you're breaking even, that's still good, right? With a small profit, still whole right now. That is a strategy I would advise. Whole until things get better, until things pick up, and so on. Because I'm sure I would like to think eventually, or monetary and fiscal policies, right, which is mainly controlled by government and central bank, right, they will implement certain things to boost the economy again, right? To pump money in the economy and let's get the economy going again.
Oh, and before we even go, like those words you left with, a lot of people were asking me about the grants. I'm gonna have someone coming up either tomorrow or Saturday talking about the grants and these things. Right? So we're gonna get to that as well, so persons will understand that.
Right. One thing I would say to guys who are looking at the that's Melissa. One thing I would say for you guys, right, who are looking at the live, like the firm's Facebook page. I really share some good insights, right? I really share, for instance, the same salary relief grant and unemployment relief grant and whatever is there for sole traders and so on. I share things like that because I think these are things that do not reach the public appropriately, right? And it's really a matter of just sharing the
Putting the information out there. Yeah.
Putting the information out.
A lot of people have no idea how to obtain this information, even divergent on the websites, because I think they could make the websites a little more user friendly in that aspect.
For instance,
big things in it.
Yeah, for instance, Shivan, for instance, like senior citizens, right, who are preparing to receive their pensions and so on. We assist pro bono. That's our pro bono work. That's our part of our corporate social responsibility to give back to the communities.
Exactly.
Because I mean, at that point in time, these are one of the vulnerable groups within our society. We stand by our elderly. We stand by those others who are vulnerable, right? Where we can help, we will help, right? And like I say, I mean, at that point in time, it's just to really help these people to get what they could get. Because if all of us could understand, the older you get, the more medical expenses and the cost of living just keeps going up and all this. Come on, I mean, if it's an extra fee of paying an accountant, no, we don't do that. Especially for the elderly, we don't. We help where we can. We're a business, yes, but at the same time, we use our discretion.
Awesome. That's good to know, especially I have a few elderly folks who watch this live as well. So I'm glad that they can probably come to you.
Feel free to give me a number, because one thing I saw, I think it was yesterday on I think it was Fazir Mohammed was saying of an interview with somebody from the Ministry of Social Development, if I'm not mistaken, in relation to the pensionable old age pension. They were saying that you have to make an appointment online and so on. That's just difficult for people to do so who are not tech savvy, who are not computer literate. These people may not be, be privileged, So I mean, at the end, we're looking to see where we can help people out.
I understand that, and thank you a lot for trying to give back to the community as well in that regard. I do appreciate that. And for everyone that's watching, if they want to get in contact with you, in the description of this post, they will see your Facebook page, as well as your Facebook profile and your number. All that will be there. And tomorrow, this video will also be on YouTube as well for further reference.
Okay.
So I want to thank you again, bro. I really appreciate this. It was really nice tonight. And I hope we can do this again very soon.
And thank you for listening.
Awesome. Later, guys.
All right.